Good evening and welcome to the Caledonia Township Planning Commission meeting for September 15th, 2025. Roll call. Clement.
Here.
McLean. Here. Bradshaw. Here. Curtis is here. Eberly.
Here.
Lindsay.
Here.
Cutler.
Yes.
I need a motion for a consideration of the meeting agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Eberly, supported by Cutler. Any comment? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. At this point, we have public comment brief up to 2 minutes. If anybody from the public would like to speak for 2 minutes. Seeing none, we will close the public comment period. Need a motion for the consideration of the meeting minutes from the August 18, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Everly, support by Lindsay. Any discussions, corrections, clarifications? Seeing none, all those in favor of the meeting minutes from August 18th, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Conflict of interest, does anyone have a conflict of interest for any agenda item tonight? Seeing none, we will move to new business. This is a public hearing in consideration of a special land use for an accessory building larger than permitted in the RR zoning district located at 8115 Alaska Avenue, parcel 412315, 300,067. Applicants are Kimberly and Rick Blau. Did I get it? All right. Ms. Lene, the short and sweet version, because it looks like they gave us a good packet.
Yeah, they did. Thank you. Short and sweet is that the Blaus have 63.28 acres. They're right on the Thornapple River. They are looking to expand their existing accessory building, which is located near their house, so on the west side of the property. They also have a historic barn at Alaska. I'm sure many of you have driven by there. If they keep the historic barn, the addition on the accessory building would exceed the maximum of 5,000 square feet, and that's what the maximum is in that zoning district. So they have two options. They could either come here to the Planning Commission to ask for additional square footage for the accessory buildings, or remove that red barn. And they feel that that barn is very emblematic of Caledonia Township and the rural character of the community. And they shared stories about people going there for photos, for prom pictures and senior pictures, and would hope to keep it. So they are looking for additional square footage to be able to, from the Planning Commission, to be able to do the addition. So we reviewed the request. Part of this addition would be under the porch area, and the applicant is proposing a 2,380 square foot addition. 816 square feet of that is porch area, and they essentially need 1,200 square feet, in above and beyond the 5,000. So we reviewed the request according to the standards for accessory buildings, and the intended use of the addition of this accessory building is for a secondary recreation and entertainment space. We did review the floor plans to make sure that it wouldn't be used as a dwelling, because there is a kitchenette in that space, but there is no bedroom. So therefore, it is not a secondary living space, but we have added a condition that it not be used for residential purposes. The elevations of the building depict an addition that matches the architectural style of the principal building, and the building is 10 feet from the main building, so that meets our ordinance. The building meets the requirements for height of the RR district. We looked at Parcel Viewer, and there are other detached accessory buildings that are around the similar size. It's really that red barn that puts it over the square footage. There's a tree buffer along the west side of the parcel abutting the river. Therefore, the impact of this accessory building addition would not have any kind of visual kind of, impact to people on the river. There would not be any adverse effect to light, air circulation, or any other adjacent buildings, just for fact that it's located quite a distance away from adjacent property. And the special use would not change the way they access the property, so it continues to meet all the ingress and egress requirements. And we determined that it would have minimal impact on surrounding areas. So we do recommend approval with some conditions: that it would not house any home-based business, that it would not contain any dwelling units, bedroom, or overnight accommodation, that it would not be used for commercial purposes, that it would conform to all the other zoning standards for dimensions in the RR district, that the design is in keeping with the character of the principal building, and that the red barn shall remain so long as it continues to be historically sound, or, structurally sound. It is historic, but structurally sound.
All right, thank you. We're gonna do the public hearing quick, because I believe it's gonna be quick.
Correct.
So I'm gonna open the public hearing portion for anybody who would like to speak on this agenda item. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing portion of this. I run by it quite often. I love that barn. If I saw it come down, I'd cry as I ran by it. Actually, let's be honest, I'd probably walking up the hill. One question, Lene, should this special land use also be modified because this is in front of the building, or is the front the river? Like, what's the front here?
The front of we have the waterfront yard, and so that does meet the separation.
So we don't need it.
Correct.
It can be
And
between
then
the.
it's more than 200 feet back.
All right, I just didn't want to have some oddity that we don't tick the box on and we have to talk about this again. All right, anyone else have any comments?
Can I say something?
Are you the applicant?
Oh, you're here for the public hearing?
I live right across the street.
Oh, well, we had our public hearing, but
Anybody have a problem if I reopen the public hearing?
Nope.
All right, we'll reopen the public hearing for this. If anyone would like to speak, come up to the microphone.
Sorry that I missed that.
Yeah, come on up and talk in the microphone, please.
My name is Bill Osterbrock. I live straight across. And when I look out on that field, what I see is the deer running, turkeys running, everything out there, the wildlife. And what I'm trying to figure out, I see in what you sent out, and I see a rough square in there. And I'm trying to see how big this building's gonna be. That am I gonna be looking at some large industrial building across the street? And the field's gone, I'm gonna say. The deer are gone, the turkeys are gone. Are they gonna put bulldozers in this thing, backhoes? What are they gonna really put in this building? Or is it just for a big building for entertaining? Or, that's kind of where I'm confused. I'm not saying that I wanna block it in any way. I'm just saying I'm very confused about what this building's gonna be used for, even though I hear what you're saying. And really, I have a hard time visualizing when you talk about the square footage, just how big is this building? Gonna be dead center in that lot, or what's it gonna be?
Yep, thank you.
So here's the whole site, Alaska.
Okay.
Right here's the red barn. Their
Okay.
house is back here.
Okay.
They're adding this gray square on the back of what they already have, way at the back. All of this stays open. It's just this area here.
Okay, all right. Because when I got this in the mail, and I'm looking at this big red square, and then I'm looking at the square inside there, it kind of was deceiving to me. It almost made it look like a big building was gonna go in the center of that field. So that's, like I said, I misinterpreted this.
Perfect.
That's helpful information for the way we do our notices. We'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Yep. All
But
right,
if all they're doing is adding on to the building, the house that's sitting back towards the river, then that's a different story altogether.
that's what they're doing.
Okay, I'm comfortable with that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We will close the public hearing portion. Mr. Bradshaw, I see you have notes. Do you have questions?
The only thing I just wanted to, I guess, re-clarify, so I see on the architectural print, it looks like it's 27 feet tall, and then on sheet C1, it talks about the maximum height of 25. I don't know how we calculate the mean level of the height, but I just want to confirm that somebody calculated that and the mean height is less than 25, even though the peak is higher than that.
Correct, it's the average between the peak and the eave, bottom of the eave.
Okay. That's all I had.
Anyone else have any comments?
Yeah, I had a question. I know, my understanding is we've never allowed toilet rooms in outbuildings.
We have, I did talk to Lois about this a few
Okay.
times, and there has been back and forth conversation with Lois in our building department and the architect. I also had those questions, but she clarified that we do allow it. It's as long as there's no bedroom, then it is not determined to be a dwelling.
Well, that is a change, because I have a barn and I'm constantly reminded by my wife that I didn't put a bathroom in it.
Oh,
And it was because of this group.
okay,
So,
well, you
I-
might
Not
want-
this,
That's why-
just to clarify,
Well,
not this group. 'cause-
organization.
I would, yeah, feel
But
free
no,
to
that's,
stop in.
that's, no, that's
Yeah.
fine. I just needed
Yeah.
the clarity of understanding that it had
Yep,
changed.
yep. I believe that is the interpretation, and that is your understanding as well with the emails that have gone back and forth on that design, yeah.
That's fine. That was my question more for you, Lene, than
Yeah,
respective to
yeah.
this actual application.
Do we know if the Red Barn has, I know we're saying historical, but is there any true, besides visual, historical meaning behind the barn?
Oh, like, that it has a plaque or some kind of designation? No, I don't
It's not a
believe that it
registered
does.
historical
No, I
site.
don't
No.
believe it's a Centennial Farm or anything like
Okay.
that.
It just looks really nice and they've maintained it. I have lots of time as I go by it. Again, walking
Walking.
Up the hill.
up the hill. All right. Did you have any adjustments you wanted to make? All right. Seeing none, I will make a motion to, approve the special land use for an accessory building for 8115 Alaska Avenue as presented with the conditions on the planner's memo dated August 25, 2025, which were read previously, and I think we're comfortable with.
I'll support.
Motion by Curtis, support by Clement. Any further discussion? Public hearing, roll call. Clement?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Bradshaw?
Yes.
Curtis votes yes. Oops, sorry. Everly?
Yes.
Lindsay?
Yes.
Cutler?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you for coming in tonight and providing a packet that we didn't have to talk about for hours. Thank you. And it looks nice. All right, moving to unfinished business, site plan review for Ladd/US Golf Carts for a 32,250 square foot retail warehouse and service use located at 9670 Cherry Valley, parcel 4123283040. The packet looks a lot better than it did last time. What do you have, Ms. Lene?
Yeah, the applicant has provided some updated plans for us, including the lighting plan, so that was prepared by a registered engineer. They have shifted the building to the east to accommodate the greenbelt trees outside of the utility easement. They shifted the building north, I'm reading from their submittal. They changed the concrete walk to an 8-foot by 2-minute path. They added the sidewalk connection from the building to the path. They have an updated landscape plan. We still do have a few questions about that. The golf cart display will be in the parking lot and under the canopy in the front of the building. They did update their architectural plans to comply with our ordinance. They added their dumpster detail. They added the cross-access easement on the south property. and they revised the plans to meet the engineer and fire department comments. They do have a note here that existing sanitary lateral is shown and is not practical for use on this building, so that can be reviewed and discussed tonight if you'd like. In terms of the site plan, this is your second time reviewing it. Remember, we had a discussion about the big box and the commercial use, so we're good with that. The biggest things I think in here would be that the applicant has not engaged with MDOT on this item yet. So any approval that we give, just know that there's going to have to be review by MDOT for that driveway. They might require some type of traffic study at this location. So we also wonder whether a drive could be closed to minimize the number of curb cuts. So that was something kind of pending that we've mentioned to the applicant a few times about engaging with MDOT on that item since it is a new driveway that's proposed. We also added a condition about a crossing of Broadmoor to make sure that when the sidewalk is extended, perhaps one day at Main Street, that there be a crossing and a place for people on foot to land, basically, on the other side of Broadmoor or Cherry Valley. In terms of landscaping, I know the applicant wants to discuss this, and I realize I wrote the word parking instead of landscaping, but the parcel is 248 feet wide, so that's basically 2.5 times our landscape calculations are in 100-foot increments. So we take that to be, if it's 248, that's basically 2.5 times what we would require for the 100-foot increment. We also want to request that the applicant modify their shade trees because the variety that the landscape architect selected are columnar. They're not shade. They're going to grow upright instead of out. And the point of our canopy and shade tree requirement is that there is canopy and shade provided. We included a condition that at-grade mechanicals be buried, that lighting, the light poles shall be black or brown in color. Just make sure that that is specified. And they did modify their parking from 73 to 62, and we find that that is sufficient. I think they know their business well, and they realize that people are coming in for a very specific item. It's not like a grocery store or something with many products, and so you would have more parking demand. And then I mentioned earlier about the architecture, that the building meets the standards of our architectural requirements. They did describe the glass as transparent, and we just want to make sure that a note is added that it's clear, non-tinted, non-reflective. I think glass can be transparent and still be tinted or still be reflective, so we want to make sure that it is clear, non-tinted, and non-reflective. We didn't see any rooftop mechanicals, but we asked that if there are, those would be disclosed in the architectural plans and then obscured by a parapet. So with that, we have a recommendation for approval. We have some conditions that are suggested, and the first one being that coordination with MDOT occur, and that there be that discussion related to closure or consolidation of the driveway, the second driveway, that the light fixtures meet the ordinance requirement for color, that landscaping meet the zoning standards based on the width of the parcel, and that the plant materials be from the approved list for shade and canopy trees. Number 4 is related to the chain link fence. I know this came up at our last meeting, that we wanted to see that that fencing be removed from the front yard, that the crossing of Cherry Valley be provided, that the note be added about the clear, non-tinted, non-reflective glass, that overhead utility wires are buried and above-ground mechanicals are screened, Just at the signage, any new signage, that would be reviewed by the building department. And then our general conditions about the conformance with the conditions of the engineer, our fire chief. This does have the land division application, but I believe I think that I want to ask the applicant or have them clarify, will these parcels be joined? So perhaps, I'm just not sure if there is going to be a land division or combination happening. So that's something to talk about, item number 11. And that's all I have.
All right, why don't you both come up, we'll hit you both at the same time. Start like I normally do, you have the letter from the planner's letter dated September 8th, 2025, and the engineers same date.
Yep.
Of the 12 items currently listed, any problems with those 12?
Yeah, not necessarily problems, maybe some clarifications.
Give
We'll
us the
start,
clarification.
Under the recommendations, that's fine, I'll start there. We have begun the coordination with MDOT. There were two submittals sent to MDOT, both to Kerr and Keene. We did it, ours, we submitted back in July 3. Todd Borman also submitted the same information to him on June 30. He beat me. We have not heard any formal review back from them yet, but we did receive an email back after Todd Borman asked another question about whether a traffic study would be required. They did respond to say that they didn't say yes or no to the intersection yet, but they did say if the intersection is there, that the applicant or the owner would be required to do the modifications to the traffic signal, which is somewhat obvious, and that they would require some traffic volume information for the design of that traffic light. So they're not requiring a full traffic study, they just need enough information to review the traffic signal. So that's what we've gotten back for them to date. And Lene, you were on that August 18 response, but no, they never did respond and say, yeah, this looks good, or whatever. But I would guess, we're removing this existing road driveway that's offset just 100 feet, 50 feet, and doing exactly what is typically required to line up a driveway with an opposing road. So so at this point, we don't anticipate any issues with the configuration or location, but yes, they are going to require some traffic information. So we are coordinating with them. We have submitted the information, but don't have a formal review letter from them yet. So that's really all I wanted to say about that. The condition is fine as it is. We will continue to coordinate with them and get proper permits from them. The other item 3, landscaping, Lene alluded to that. I think, yes, we'll have the landscape architect choose canopy versus a columnar deciduous tree. That's not a problem. And I would say, I think there's some, I read through the section where the number of plantings is listed. There's 2 sections actually that may or may not apply. G2 and G3. G2 is regarding any commercial uses, property, what happens within that landscape buffer. G2 is more of a general commercial use where 3 shade trees are required, 5 evergreens are required, and 12 shrubs are required per 100 feet. And G3 says where off-street parking areas abut Broadmoor. Now it's specific to the Broadmoor and Broadmoor overlay area. There shall be planted and maintained 5 evergreen trees, so the same, 3 shade trees, that's the same, and 25 shrubs instead of 12. So if you have parking adjacent to Broadmoor, you have to plant more shrubs. That's the way I'm reading this. But it does very specifically say, for each 100 feet of frontage of the parking area, not the parcel, but of the parking area. And so what the landscape architect has done is said, okay, across the parking area, we're gonna use the 25 shrubs, and across what's left, so there's 135 feet of parking area, there's 113 feet of non-parking area. She applied the two different standards based on the total frontage. So if that's a misinterpretation of the ordinance, we'll make sure we got enough plantings there. But I did the math myself independently, and we have, I forget where it went, we have, I think, if you do the math I described, we need 8 shade trees, we have 9. We need 13 evergreens, we have 12, so we're one heavy and one short.
Can you move that plan just a smudge?
The other way.
The other way. Okay, sorry.
There you go, now we can see what you're pointing
All
at.
right, and then we need 48 shrubs and we have 50. And it does, the planning commission does have the ability to permit variation, mixture of the tree types. So there's one more shade tree, one less evergreen, 2 more shrubs than are required based on the math I described. So I would suggest we let Lene verify how that's being interpreted, and if it's not being interpreted correctly, we can add more shrubs. But that's all it could possibly amount to is some more shrubs, because both of them require the same number of shade and deciduous trees, and we will fix the canopy tree. So that's what I had for that.
I'm gonna back up to 2 real quick.
Sure.
Let's just go to the color of the lights, yeah, they're on there.
And poles.
Poles, yep.
Yep.
That will comply, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, what, a new condition was the crossing. We'll coordinate that with MDOT, pedestrian crossing, with the whole traffic light work.
I'm not saying you skipped one, but you skipped 4.
Well, I was just picking the ones that I disagree with, or I wanted to clarify.
Oh,
but,
okay, so you don't have a problem with 4?
Well, I did. Chain link fence, we're talking about the fence that's along here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is shown on the demo plan to remove this, and on the new plan shows that the fence would be here at the corner of the building and then across. Are you getting it? All right. Here. So it goes here and then back. This is existing. So there will be no fence in that whole front area.
What kind of fence is that?
It's a chain link fence. Yeah. I believe it's a 6-foot chain link fence.
And the proposed fence is also chain link?
And, yeah, we don't have any issues with the other 12, or the other 8.
I'm just keeping them in order. So 4, we just have to chain link fence.
Floodway to get the water out though.
Yeah, we talked about the crossing, that's acceptable.
All set.
Yep, 6.
Sorry. Yeah. We're talking about water and fence. You're good.
Okay, so 4 was the fence?
Yes.
Okay, so then 5, crossing to the,
Yeah, we already addressed that, that's acceptable.
okay, 6, yeah, we'll definitely clear non-tinted, non-reflective glass, absolutely, that was intended that way.
Number 7, yeah, all overhead, that's fine, everything is gonna be
Yeah, the
buried.
mechanical, we tried to accommodate both. We don't have a mechanical system quite yet identified, so if they're on the ground, we'll definitely screen them. If they're on the roof, we already have a 3-foot parapet. On one side, it is a parapet on the street side and along the south side, but due to the slope of the roof, there is no parapet there because you'd be trapping water. I'm speculating these will be, if the canopy unit is put in, it's gonna be in the center of this bigger roof, and your view line is really not gonna pick up the the height of the mechanical unit anyway, but we do have a parapet on the front of the building that's 3 foot high from the lake. So our intent is to screen it, we just don't have that mechanical system designed yet.
I just don't wanna see it if I'm heading northbound on 37
Northbound on 37,
from
that's a high parapet as well. The roof is sloping down to
north.
the north.
Oh.
So we're heading south, there could be potential to see it in that direction.
This just has to be screened. We can't see it, so.
Okay.
The signage is, yes, that'll be submitted when complete for permitting. 9 is,
I think the rest are just general, except for number 11. You're still moving the property line?
yeah, yes, the property line is moving, but it would not constitute a land division. It would
Okay,
be a property
just-
line adjustment.
Okay, so there's no combination
There's no
either.
combination, it's just an adjustment. These will be continue to be 2 separate parcels. And, yeah, I've looked through the township engineer's letter, we're okay with everything he has. He wants to, make this connection of the bike path to the driveway, I guess. That's fine. And then there were other construction plan related details that we're fine with as well. And then 12 is fine too, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, I'm gonna hit you with a couple things.
certainly.
I already hit you with 2 on the light fixtures and poles. Not picking on the lighting guy because I used to be a lighting guy, but the lighting plan doesn't work with the building. If you go to the lighting plan. Yep, there you go. The southwest corner of the building. Put your finger on that light fixture.
West.
Up, right. That's a pole. Go to the right
Oh,
on the building.
Okay.
Now look at your building plan.
I have it.
The elevation shows it better. You're gonna put that light above the, are you putting it on the fascia or are you putting it up on the big wall? Either way, the light's not getting to the ground.
Yeah, it's probably up, we're gonna have lights in this projected bay as well, some cam
Yeah,
lights. It's just.
That light on top has me scratching my head.
Yeah, it's like the top side of that projection.
The other thing on the north side, we have a lot of light for 2 doors back there, plus it's spilling over the property line significantly. I'm just saying, you got a lot of lights out there. You could probably save a lot of money by not lighting it like super bright, because what are your hours of operation?
Right till 9.
Lights have to be off after that. Just saying. I'd like a condition that, the light fixture plan be revised. I mean, for sure, there's a coordination issue. On the southwest.
So the light going over the property line is definitely
Mhm.
needs to be contained, and then the magnitude of light,
I mean, technically it meets it, but I don't know why you're gonna be lighting between the building there. I can see one over the doors, but yeah, the rest of the building, you got a lot of light.
we're kind of,
Yeah,
whatever you think is right, we would accommodate.
I would just, each one of those poles is about $8,000, so you do the math.
Yep.
The fixtures on the building are gonna be about 1,500, 2,000 installed, so as the building owner, I wouldn't put that much light on there. Especially when you're not open. The lights have to be turned off when you're not open.
And it's quite secure with all the fencing.
Can you give me a little direction? I mean, would it be, we can get rid of
Sure.
these light
Yeah.
poles or something?
We don't have a minimum, right? It's up to you. We just have a maximum. So you could reduce it by, I mean, you could remove 5 of them or 6 of them.
You
What
can
do I
remove
do?
all of them.
All of them.
And another recovering electrical engineer, I'm fully retired even. It's not just that we wanna save you money, we just want less light flux
Sure.
in the township.
Sure.
We don't want the sky glow and all that, and if you can cut back, it helps everybody, so.
What would be the sentence or two I say to my professional electrical engineer to say, reduce the lighting but still meet minimum? Would that automatically
We don't
reduce
have a
or-
minimum requirement. I think what you need to talk to them about is exactly why are they lighting the property and what are you trying to protect from?
Yeah.
If you've already got a fenced facility, it's, all those lights really do is help the person that climbed the fence at
Yeah.
that point. The police can't get back there, so.
Yeah, I don't believe this was the direction from the ownership. It
Yeah.
was more of
Oh, I,
providing.
a
make
hundred
sure
percent,
that-
I know what happened. I've done it.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that something that, I mean, we can work on
Yes,
as
yeah,
we
yeah,
submit
yeah,
it
yeah.
and-
work it out, they'll ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like one of those, you know, if it, you know it's right when it's right, but for sure, I know that southwest corner of the building isn't gonna work. That light's never getting to the ground.
It's being blocked by that.
It's being
projector.
implied by that.
Yeah. And we would be illuminating with can lights that
Yeah,
sidewalk.
and those should be shown on the site plan as well. All right, I'm done. Anyone else?
I have a few things.
I kind of figured you might.
If you can go to the site plan. Yeah, perfect. So as you're coming in the new driveway, if you were to turn right to the existing site, could we add concrete curb for that entire radius, that new paved area? I think people are gonna jump that, and it's gonna be a muddy mess all the time. And the more barrier we can put there, the better.
Both sides here.
Honestly, the side that the second side to the east, I'm less worried about. The way everything aligns with the existing site, I think people are gonna.
Yeah, we can do that.
Next comment is, I think the entrance has moved as compared to this site plan. It's now further to the north. So I'd like to move the handicap spaces to align with the entrance.
This is.
Yeah, and move down to this right here, so.
And then this is really more of a question / discussion for Lene. Overall, how does this work for potential Main Street extensions in the future? I'm pleased that there appears to be at least 70 feet open here, but some of that has parking that's private, and certainly this is still private property. Master plan wise, you know, the street is supposed to go through here, and how does that work, whether that's 5 years or 30 years from now, if this site plan is approved?
Yeah, I mean, if this is approved, that would be very challenging proposition. I think we talked before about, I know we talked about an easement to the north property, which hasn't been discussed yet, but we also kind of vaguely talked about, could there be some type of easement along the property line or some way to, you know, maybe one day if this were to change, you know, have the potential for that to happen. And even move the stormwater basin a little bit so that if a road did go through there, you know, we would have to find ways to compensate for that, of course, but if it were to be built, I mean, but, yeah, I don't know
So
how it
overall,
happens.
that's the biggest struggle for me on
Yeah.
this project. I like the project, I love free market and the fact that they should be able to develop, but trying to see the bigger picture of what we think our community needs to look like and where this property sits. I think I'm probably gonna vote no just because there isn't an easement or any potential future rights that we can do what we need to do with our master plan. Even though I think it's a great development, it's just, I don't see how we do the things that should happen in the township long-term, so. Other comments that I have that are less serious and more in the weeds than 30,000 feet. The township engineer did mention that the stormwater calculations are a little bit incomplete, so I guess the pass-through stormwater, I'd be interested. I don't really know what flows to this site and through it, making sure that that's accounted for again as we're looking at future development in this whole area. Let's make sure that the pipes are sized once right for future development to pass through. And then the other things have already come up and been answered. That's it for me.
Anyone else have anything? Because I came up with more.
I don't have any questions. I would say, I wasn't here when we did the master plan, obviously. Appreciate what you shared. And obviously that's a consideration when we do these things and do these approvals. That being said, when I look at it from a business perspective, I think it's not fair to them to hamstring them by the fact that, they can't develop that property because of what we may do in the future. I would be reluctant to stop it for that purpose. Just because we don't, and I don't have enough experience, so you all can give me some clarity here, but just knowing we might do something in the future, I'd hate to stop them from being able to build on their land because of that.
I do have a question. On the north, are we right at the setback on the north side of the building? Again, I have a half-size plan
I
that,
think our side yards are 0 in the overlay.
I mean, it would be helpful to your statement if that building was pushed north. That would give more, if they do something in the future and we do, it's gonna have to be condemned, they're gonna have to
But isn't
condemn
there
it
some
to
stormwater?
take it.
I did move it as far as north as I felt I could. There's
Yeah,
slope here and.
that's what we were
drainage.
talking about earlier, is
Okay,
that's where the
Yeah.
water has to get across the street.
But what about that cross-access easement to the north,
Yeah,
to
I
the
was gonna
American
bring that
Legion?
up.
hmm?
We'd like to see a cross-access agreement. Again, this is, if you flip it back to the other page, it's
Sure.
easier to see. Thinking big picture, we know M37 is gonna be widened through that section at some point. I mean, we're getting to 92nd with 2 lanes each direction. It's just a matter before it goes south from there. They're not gonna bottle it down to 2 lanes and then bring it back to 4 going south. I can envision in the future that MDOT isn't going to like having the VFW there to the north with their access immediately right next, close to it. It would, not saying we have to connect it, but it would be really nice if there is a cross-access agreement to the north and even all the way to carry it through to the south lot, that if we ever need to give access because MDOT wants to eliminate drives, which they don't like having drives, on that.
Yeah, the owner has specifically told us they do not want to have an access easement to the north.
It is required in our overlay. I
It
mean, we
is?
do speak to that.
I guess, you mentioned they may want to eliminate that. I mean, it's one thing to have a cross-access easement so people wanting to travel from one site to the next don't have to go out onto the road. It's fully another thing to say, everyone's going to use this
Oh,
and go through there, because that's what you just said.
it is, but that's a hypothetical, but
So you can see why the owner wouldn't wanna.
I get
have
it, and we're not saying it has to be put in now, just the access agreement has to be in place. And to Lene's point, it is part of the Cherry Valley overlay, that it is in there. So you're at a crossing point. Do we add it to a condition without the owner being here? And it passes or not passes, but if it passes, they're bound by it? That's a you decision as a consultant. The owner's not here to represent himself.
Well, I told you what the owner's position is, so if you add it, you would, imagine him standing here telling you the same thing. He does not wanna see it.
All right.
We did.
It's kind of a sales parking lot, if you will, right?
No, it's,
You have people crossing through there.
and to that point, the south drive into the existing property, I'm okay with it saying, but I really would like it to be a right in and a right out. Right in, right only from M37, right out to northbound. Make everybody go to the light to make a left. This drive here, people making lefts is an accident waiting to happen. Or a left in. Traffic's gonna be backed up from the traffic light. There's a whole lot of traffic movement in that short little stretch between Main Street and that driveway. I'd really like to see that south drive either eliminated or make it a right in and a right out, no left, no southbound traffic on M37. I don't know if anybody else has that same feeling about what's gonna happen there, but it's not pretty.
You're just talking on the south side,
Yeah, this,
which that's not gonna be used that much anyways, is it? In theory?
Well, this building is still gonna be here and be utilized, so.
But I mean, you wouldn't be getting a tremendous amount of traffic. Most of your traffic would be on the north side, correct?
you've lived here long enough. People are gonna drive down there and avoid the traffic.
Oh, I understand. No, I understand what you're saying. That's why, but I guess my point is it shouldn't be that big of a hindrance if it is just right turn because you shouldn't be getting a tremendous amount of traffic through there anyways.
Right. Any other thoughts on that? What about you, Miss Lindsay? You're with the village, so.
Yeah. I do agree with the south entrance being right turn, right and right. Cause what I see happening is until the expansion comes further down that area, it already is congested, right? And it's gonna be more when it comes down. And if you're turning off of Main Street,
I mean, honestly, I can't imagine that MDOT would allow a left turn there if they widened it out 2 lanes north and, because I don't think there's gonna be room for a turn lane in it. Well, they'd have to figure out how to get a turn lane in there. It'd be ugly.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
They've got plenty of right of way. I mean, they'll have to redo a lot of, that's a significant ditch, of course, on the west side, but they can squeeze it in.
Well, I'm talking about the drive.
Oh, I see.
I understand what MDOT can do.
Yeah. I guess, it doesn't matter to me either way. I think there's times of the day where it's convenient to turn left there, but there's times of the day where it's absolutely impossible, so.
I'm jaded. I don't trust people to realize it's easier to go to the lake because they never do. So I don't know that it solves anything to even sign it right turn only because people are still gonna go turn.
Well, if you put the curb in, forcing it,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking
you
about.
mean like they do at Subway?
Yeah,
Sort of.
they still.
That needs a more significant curb.
I think, Doug, I think you're probably right, but I'm not sure it adds anything to the proposed project. This is solving a problem that's not part of the project. And it would be nice to have it fixed, but I think in general, that building is a separate property.
By the same owners currently.
I agreed.
So, I mean, part of our task is, you know, safety of site plans.
No, I agree.
And we all know traffic on M37 is not nice, and I don't know, I just would feel much more listen, I advocated for the same thing at, the marathon at 68th Street, removing that driver having a right in or right out, because it's a safety issue that close to the intersection. It's not something and at that point, we removed that drive. You know, they didn't want the drive behind the building, if those of us who are here farther west, so, I think we have to look out, I hate to say it, gotta watch out for dumb people.
Mr. Chairman, I just do want to get back to the easement to the north, because it does say, in approving a land use, the planning commission shall require the establishment of cross-access easements for the purpose of providing vehicle ingress and egress from the lands being developed and to and from the adjacent parcel or parcels on either side of the subject parcel, upon the condition that a like easement shall be provided by the owner of the adjacent parcels as well. And it goes on to say that a driveway or service road within the cross-access easement shall be undertaken and completed as part of the development of the subject land.
Oh, so it is required.
Sorry, Lene, could you read the part where you said something about the easement from the adjacent? I missed that.
To and from the adjacent parcel or parcels on either side of the subject parcel, upon the condition that a like easement shall be provided by the owners of such adjacent parcels as to which such cross-access is required.
A like easement, is that what you said?
It says a like easement. And then the second one says, a cross-access easement shall be utilized for vehicle driveway or service road to connect the subject parcel and adjacent lands, for the purpose of providing convenient vehicle access between and among parcels as an alternative to the use of Broadmoor or Cherry Valley. It shall be located as required by the Planning Commission in site plan review.
Thank you. And that's from the Cherry Valley overlay, obviously.
Correct, yeah, section G or C.
What's the section that's in?
It's in 2710,
27.10,
27.10,
G,
C.
C,
C, and then it's 1 through 9.
I saw how that worked. Any other comments? Questions?
Well, as far as coming in, making a right or a left, which you discussed, wouldn't that come from the road commission or MDOT, I'm sorry, when they do their, because they haven't done a whole MDOT thing yet.
I don't know that that would be part of the study because it's not a combined parcel. Even though it's the same ownership, they might only look at the traffic for that. I'm not as familiar with traffic studies, but I don't think they'd look at that, would they? I guess not.
I'm not sure, I don't know.
I don't have it written down, but I think it should be there, but if we can't get a consensus on it.
Sorry, Nick can hear. I don't know what's going on.
It's definitely gonna be hard to turn left into there at that light at Main Street.
I mean, you can do it on, well, I used to say you could do it on Saturday morning, but I don't know that you could do that anymore. Straw poll, Cutler,
Good.
that wasn't the question. Right turn only at that south?
That's reasonable.
Jennifer?
I agree, it's a good idea. Whether or not it's in our purview to make improvements on another property that's not part of the application, that's a question that I don't have an answer to.
I agree with John. I think MDOT, if they really want it, will require it as part of the traffic signal review.
Okay. Where you at? MDOT?
I'd go with John too, President.
Okay. All right, any further comments, questions, concerns? What about you guys? You got anything to add? Moment of truth.
Nope.
All right. Because I was handed the notes, I will make a motion to approve the site plan review for Lads/USA Golf for the 32,250 square foot retail warehouse and service use at 9670 Cherry Valley with the following conditions. One, coordination with MDOT as written. Two, item two, modify the light fixtures and poles, add the word and poles, shall meet the ordinance requirement. Landscaping as written, chain link as written, item 5 as written, item 6 as written, item 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
I think 11 could be stricken.
11's just gonna say instead of land division, lot line adjustment.
All right, take that back. No permit shall be issued until a lot line adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't
Has
have,
been filed and approved.
I'm sorry, we don't have the cross-access required here.
I have it.
You got it? Okay.
There's 4 more.
Okay.
Okay. Number 12, as written, the site plan shall comply. 13, the lighting plan to be updated and approved by staff. 14, 6-inch curb south side of drive entrance. We're talking the south drive connecting to the existing parcel to the south.
Yep.
The west side of the south drive. So we all understand. 15, move handicap spaces to the front door. 16, cross access as required by 2710 C10 1 through 9. Nothing else? The motion has been made by Curtis.
I'll support.
Motion by Curtis, support by Clement. Any further discussions on this?
Did you cover the, you're talking about the easement on the north side?
Yes, that's the cross
Okay.
access. Thank you for checking. I mean, technically, we don't mention north or south, it's because it's actually required on both sides, because it is a adjacent parcel. All right, did this start out as a public hearing at one point?
No.
So I could
It's a
just do a
permitted use.
voice vote?
Yep.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed,
Nay.
motion passes unless you want a roll call. All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Work
Thank
with
you.
Lene, update the landscaping plan, the lighting plan. And, yeah. Public comment extended up to 5 minutes. Seeing no one's here. Commissioner comments. I have one. I'd like to review our bylaws that we have because they are probably really outdated on how we run meetings. And they need to be updated. I'd definitely like to have a, dare I say, time limit on meetings. After X amount of time, whatever's left on the agenda is tabled, and hopefully that will encourage people to get their packets together. I'm more than happy if the packets aren't complete to immediately table and tell them to keep working with Lene. I think we've all expressed that frustration over time. Any other commissioner comments?
Just building on that, is there any organizations that do that update? Like at the school board, they have, excuse me, organization called Neola that updates the bylaws. They put them in front of you to make sure you're updated. Do we have that?
I doubt it.
Okay.
Every
I didn't know if there was-
township's like the Wild West.
Fair enough.
Do it on your own.
I think it's a great idea though, to take a look at those.
Yeah, I'm sure they're outdated. No other commissioner comments, correspondence?
I've got a quick commissioner's
Oh.
comment. Had the privilege of visiting Scotland last week on vacation, and the area that we were in particular, the Caledonians ruled about 200 AD. So it was really neat to further understand what our community is named after and why we're the Fighting Scots. And just wanted to share that. I don't know if it's going to help me as a planner, but it was a fun trip to understand the history. So.
Did you pick up any of the lingo?
Oh yeah, I'm
Probably
trying to
not
lose
good.
it all over the weekend. Back into the work week.
Yes. Any other commissioner comments? All right. Correspondence and staff updates. You want to talk, who's talking about the trails in the Parks and Trails?
I just kept this on there from last time we met, just at the Harvest Festival. There'll be a booth about the Parks and Trails vision. So stop by. I think there's some freebies, there's some community input activities, so make your voice heard and let your neighbors know to go to that.
What was the flyer we got in
There's
the
an
mail?
open house Thursday as well,
Oh,
here.
okay,
Here.
great.
Okay,
I'll
thank
see
you.
on
I-
Thursday.
See, I did remember it. From
There's two sessions, I think one starts at 2 and the other one starts at 5.
some, yeah,
Yeah, 5 to 8, I know that's the last one, and then
do you
3,
have
2
it?
to 5 or something.
Yeah, I can look it up.
As he's looking that up, I see notice that, the legal notice that Bound sent us their master plan update,
Yes.
which is more just informational than,
2 to 4 and 6 to 8.
I thought it said library on the flyer, the open house.
I thought it said township.
The notes say 2 to 4 in the same room. It is at the library.
Okay.
Yes, it's at the library. Thanks.
Thank you for correcting us from the back. With that, I need a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
Motion by Everly, support by someone.
Support.
Lindsay? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
If I have the bylaws digitally, which I think I do, I'll just email them out to everybody.
Just do not reply all.
And I'll reply all.
I've never seen the bylaws.
I think they say respectfully